everyone, Amanda here from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk. Thanks for joining me today. And today I'm making a very simple but very pretty card. And I'm using some craft cardstock. This is out of my stash that I've bought somewhere from a craft fair many moons ago. If you are using Stampin' Up card, the very nearest is crumb cake. And so I've got my A4 sheet here. This is a European A4 and I'm cutting it on the short side at 4 1/8. Okay, and I'm cutting it the full length there, and that then creates 2 card bases because we just very simply fold them in half like so. Or if you want to score it at 5 7/8 of an inch, and then you've got the perfect card base. So I can take that and I can make another card with that later. Alright, and then I have cut a piece of Whisper White, and this measures, say that when you've had a whisker, this measures 5 3/4 by 4. I'm just leaving a very tiny increment so you can just see that lovely cardstock there. Okay, so it's a very tiny increment all the way around. So we're going to start our stamping. Now, I absolutely love Christmas crafting, but you know, I'm a little bit tired of it. So I'm bringing in Good Morning Magnolia, which is from the annual catalogue. It was super popular when it was first launched. I like to get my money worth out of things, so I will use them over and over. If you don't have this set yet, you're missing out. It's beautiful. I love this big, massive, beautiful focus stamp. And these are good because really, you stamp that and you're good. You're done. You're good to go. Now I'm using the large block here, which is an F block, or you can use the Stamparatus or your preferred stamping platform. If you really don't have one, another tip for the larger stamps is use your stamp case. Okay, and use that as a large block. I did that in the early days before I had my block collection. So I'm using Sahara Sand here, and I'm going to ink that all over. Make sure there's plenty on. Okay, and then I'm just going to stamp. I'm not stamping all of it. I've put the sticker on so that I can see clearly where I'm going roundabouts, and I'm not stamping the whole image, I'm just stamping it on the bottom left corner like so. Give it a nice press. Okay, just be careful not to smoosh that all over yourself. I'm not too worried at the moment. And then I'm going to re-ink it. Nice and generously. And I'm going to go for the top left. And where this leaf is here, I'm going to nestle it inside there. So it's like almost like it's meant, you know, it's made for each other. It's like a little collage. Okay, and I've just turned the direction of the stamp round so that I can fit it where I want it. Alright, and we've got that beautiful look going on there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just really quickly going to stamp my sentiment. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black, and I'm going to have thanks. Always comes in handy to have a thanks. I'm just going to move it down here while I put it on my block. And hopefully that's nice and straight. Ink that up. Okay. And stamp that on round about there. Alright. And that's stamped beautifully and crisply and cleanly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in with, let me just zoom in so you can see that beautiful detail. Now you could leave it like that. That would look awesome, but I'm going in with my stamping blends, and this is light crumb cake. Now although I've stamped in just plain ink, if I'm super careful it won't bleed out. Okay, these are alcohol markers. Normally we'd use something like Memento, but if you're super careful it won't bleed out. And what I'm going to do is just very gently, and the trick is to not colour right up to the edge. Okay, just do it a little bit away from the edge and then let the ink spread the rest of the way. And that way it won't bleed out because it's bleeding to the edge of your image, as it were. Okay, so I'm just colouring just the leaves in this crumb cake and not having to do any fancy shading. Nothing like that. Alright. I'm using the brush tip, which helps me cover lots of ground very quickly. If you're doing more precision, then you'd use the, you know, the bullet tip end. And I can colour that in very quickly. And because they're alcohol markers, you know, the colour kind of spreads and you can't really see those brush marks. They're ever so nice. They are nice pens. I tend to use the more of the lighter shades as well. Okay, you could go in, if you're a more talented at colouring than I am, you could go in and add shading. You could colour your magnolia flowers. I'm leaving them plain. I think it looks pretty. Alright. And then it doesn't matter what your skill level is, you can enjoy the Stampin' Blends. They're for everybody. Just do this last one here. So I am being a little bit careful, but you know, I'm not too worried. And this is a card that you can, again, I like simple cards that you can make in huge batches. And that's a beautiful thank you card in next to no time. All I've got to do now is add some glue. Of course it's bunged up. Of course it is. Add some glue and get that on my, get it on my card base. Okay, really simple, and sometimes the simpler you can make something, the better it looks. If it's overcomplicated, I think overcomplicated cards can look fussy. And then, you know, people are put off because they think, oh, that's really nice, but yeah, I can't do that. Well, you can do this one. Anybody can. That is a super simple card. It doesn't get any easier. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just spice it up a right little bit with some of my pearls. I'm just going to dot a few about just to add a little bit of fanciness. And one there, and we'll just bob one at the top of here, and there we go, we're done, good to go. I think that's an awesome little thank you card. We've used one ink, one blend pen and one stamp set. That's all you need. Maybe some black ink. But you could stamp it in the same colour ink if you wanted, just the black stands out a bit more. So there you go. You don't need you know, a house full of things to make lovely nice cards. So give it a try. I'll leave all of the information over on my blog at scrimpingmommy.co.uk. Go and have some fun. Bye.